It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 dig, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
I got this guy beside me as a teammate is the first step in it. Obviously, having Ryan's a huge asset. I mean, we've worked well together from day one. His depth of knowledge of the cars and why things do what they do has been a huge asset to me. It's been a huge asset to the whole organization. But there's boundaries that we have to stay in, and you know, the good thing is that you guys have all been to a driver's meeting at some point through the season this year with the new video board that they show, the illustrations. It makes it so clear what we can and can't do, and NASCAR's done a really good job since then of, and they did before that too. I was surprised that there was as much confusion as there was about what the rule really was.
I like restrictor plate racing. I look forward to it. I can't wait to get out there on Sunday and, you know, have another day of it. It's fun. I learn every time I get out there. I feel like I get closer and closer to be able to win on one of these tracks. You know, I think you have to. This is one of those tracks we have to learn and learn a lot before you can ever have your shot at winning. I'm looking forward to it. You know, had a good run at Daytona. The car's fast. I think all of our cars are fast at RCR. I think it's you know, breath of fresh air. We need a you know, good run here. We've had 2 bad runs here the last 2 weeks, and you know, we need to get it turned around.
Here it's just car. The driver's very important, don't get me wrong, but not as important. The driver's not as important. The car handling and stuff is not as important at Talladega. It's more of catching the right draft at the right time and the car being able to pick up the speed. So, you know, you just sort of take pot luck here. So like rolling the dice, you don't know what number's coming up, and just because you go out and you practice fast or sit on pole, that doesn't mean anything. It's just according to how the circumstances in the race. So probably of all the racetracks we run, this is probably more circumstantial than any racetrack we run.
I think there are a lot more options, and that really intrigues them. And I think Vegas will be much more willing to cooperate and work with us to make it a great experience and to bring in the fandom element as well. Yeah, this is a big area for NASCAR racing. A huge facility to seat a lot of people, and a bunch of crazy people camped out in the infield park and even outside of the track. So we know that we're going to come here and have awesome fan support, put on a great show, and you know, thankful to everybody that travels to come to this race, especially the local area.
A race that is fairly quiet, that has a lot of excitement, is those 2 Richmond races. 2 races under the lights. They both have great meeting. This one here in the spring, it's really no holding back. Then the one that leads up to the chase in the fall, you've really got to be on your game if you're going to be in the chase or out of the chase. Both those races, pure excitement. The Richmond, they call it the action track, and it's that reason because it has that name because we can race low, we can race in the middle, a high groove. You're always around somebody, and there's always some good action that's going on at Richmond. So I think it's a great track, and it's neat that both races are under the lights. When you get to run up front at Talladega, it's safer than some other spots, but still there's really no safe spot. But this place, haven't been able to win here just yet, so it gets you that much more pumped up if you haven't won at a track before. Because I've been close on restrictor plate races, but just haven't quite been able to put her into victory lane just yet.
You know, Talladega is a racetrack. It's one of my favorite racetracks that we go to, and it's also a racetrack that hasn't been all that good to me over the past couple of years. We've had some good runs here, just haven't been able to close the deal because of, you know, some different issues. So, you know, all in all, I mean, you know, I'm proud of the progress we've made with Aaron's Dream Machine, and everybody continues to do a very good job.
It's a good week for us to celebrate the fan. I mean, that's why we have that race. I mean, that is a fan-driven race. So, it's what our sport, every sport needs an all-star event. Our all-star event, I think, is the best all-star event, period, end of story. Every other all-star event, the intensity goes down. Our all-star event, the intensity goes up. And it's a complete opposite of what you see when you watch another sport all-star event. And I think it's the best one going. And I'm not saying that just because I'm in this sport. But if you watch it and you go watch an NBA event, it's a lot better. And the intensity level is just so high. That's what makes it special. I think this is a cool 3 weeks. I think when you look at Phoenix, Talladega, Richmond, that's a cool 3 weeks. You're going to see good racing. You're going to see excitement. You're going to see stuff going on. I think it's a better 3 weeks than the first 3 weeks of our year, and just because of the racetracks. So, Mark winning last week, I think those kind of things are cool and get people fired up and want to pay attention. And being here, like I said, I just think that these 3 weeks of racing are good weeks because you're going to see.
This is NASCAR Newscast Weekend Preview Edition. The NASCAR Spring Cup Series heads to the longest oval track on the schedule this weekend with a trip to Talladega Superspeedway for Sunday's Aaron's 499. The lightning-fast 2.66-mile Alabama track was recently repaved. Ryan Vickers says the track's new smooth surface makes for even more competitive racing.
They did one of the most impressive resurfacing jobs I've ever experienced. I mean, that track, when they repaved it, was just absolutely smooth. I mean, it's the saying goes, as smooth as a baby's butt. I mean, it was. They did a great job, and it's held up really well. I mean, it's still. There's not many bumps that have come up over the course of time. Obviously, it's lost grip, but you don't really notice it in our cars.
Sunday will be the second restrictor plate race of the season, following last February's Daytona 500. And although Talladega and Daytona have some similarities, Ryan Newman says they are completely different.
Typically, it's the fastest race cars up front. It's wide open, and you have to have some teamwork to stay up front. But it's totally different from Daytona. I mean, you can take a aerial picture, aerial photograph, and it looks exactly the same, but it's really not even close.
Tony Stewart scored a thrilling victory in last October's Spring Cup Series Talladega race, and he leads the drivers to watch this weekend based on NASCAR's Loop Data driver rating system. Stewart has a 95.9 driver rating and an average finish of 12.9 over the last 8 Talladega races. Series point leader Jeff Gordon is third on the list with a 92.3 rating, and he'll be shooting for his 7th Talladega Spring Cup Series win on Sunday. The weekend also includes the NASCAR Nationwide Series in action Saturday afternoon in the Aaron's 312. This is NASCAR Newscast.